Real careful around here, you get beat up. If you don't believe what everybody believes, this is like 30s Germany. I don't know what happened. If you're not part of the group, you know what we believe is right. I go, well, I might have a problem with that.
They said, who better than a comedian to talk seriously about the integrity of the Emmy vote counting?
And then what I got to do sometimes is explain, which I hate in big arenas, that this is a thought police thing, and I do not like it. But when I use these words, this is my intent behind those words.
Yeah.
Wow.
So as long as you understand my intent, I still get people, well, just don't say it. And I said, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, but
One of Hollywood's most unapologetic voices, Tim Allen, has long been a critic of woke culture. Known for his boundary-pushing comedy and refusal to tiptoe around sensitive topics, he has repeatedly made it clear that he won't be silenced. In this video, we will look into several key issues Allen has tackled head-on, exploring how each one ties into his ongoing battle with woke culture and the backlash he's faced along the way. Tim Allen's relationship with social media has been contentious, and Twitter has been a particular battleground. Known for his off-the-cuff remarks and unapologetic commentary, Allen often faces backlash for expressing opinions that go against the grain of woke ideologies. A single tweet from Allen can set off a firestorm, like his on X, where he said, "Really had some trouble processing the cowardly assassination attempt last week." The former president, like him or not, is someone's granddad, father, sibling, friend, and husband. He simply presents a different position. Framing one's opposition into an enemy is a radical strategy I experience from the 60S. It turns actual problem solving into an ego game of winning and losing through wordplay. Consider problem solving to any issue, and the truth will present itself in a difficult concept, compromise. Seek truth, avoid a version of truth. Also, one of his most notable recent controversies involved a seemingly innocuous tweet. He made a comment that stirred outrage, with people accusing him of being insensitive. The uproar was so intense that social media exploded, with users calling for his cancellation. Trump win, check. Sadie McKenna's Snapchat story, check. Steak for lunch and dinner tonight, check. Scrolling through Twitter laughing at liberals, check. Hot bitches and moms liking my Insta story, check. Today's a great day to have a great day, enjoy. Yet, Allen simply let the comments roll off, refusing to be drawn into a debate. This is a recurring theme in his career, saying what he thinks and allowing the chips to fall where they may. In addition to his battles with social media, Tim Allen has taken issue with the modern obsession with labeling everything. A perfect example of this came during a trip to Disneyland, where Allen overheard a conversation between a young teen and his family. The child mentioned feeling uncertain about his identity, a statement that Allen later poked fun at on social media. To him, it was a humorous take on how overcomplicated identity labels have become in today's culture.
Tim Allen tends to be a problem solver, and I said I like problem solving, period, whoever it works with, but if you don't know what it gets paid for, I don't know who said it. We went to a fundraiser, took my mom to a fundraiser. She wanted to see a fundraiser. It happened to be a Democratic fundraiser, because I'm a comedian. I get invited to these things.
As expected, the backlash was swift. Critics accused him of dismissing serious issues like gender and identity, labeled him a bully, and claimed that his humor was outdated. Allen's response? He simply shrugged it off. He didn't apologize or clarify his intent, beyond saying that he thought the moment was funny. Allen's resistance to explaining himself is a big part of why he continues to clash with woke culture.
Last Man Standing. Congrats on this.
No, thanks very much.
I watched it when it was on ABC.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it wasn't on ABC.
Tell the 300 of the crew and everybody the same thing. We're all going, this is the best show I've ever been on. What? We're off the air. We all thought we were at the top of their game.
One of the biggest examples of Hollywood's distaste for Allen's conservative views came when ABC unexpectedly canceled his hit sitcom, Last Man Standing. Despite being one of the network's highest-rated shows, Last Man Standing was dropped in 2017 without warning. Fans and the cast were blindsided, and many began to suspect that the show's conservative slant and Allen's outspoken political views were the reasons behind its cancellation. The show's lead character, Mike Baxter, was a conservative family man, and this didn't sit well with a network that was increasingly leaning into progressive narratives. ABC never explicitly stated that politics were the cause, but it wasn't hard for fans and critics to connect the dots. For Allen, this was just another chapter in Hollywood's ongoing attempt to silence voices that don't conform to the industry's left-leaning standards.
Without anybody's permission, because I couldn't let this thing go. We had 6 stories in the can. ABC said we're going to go a different direction. I said, what, non-profitable? How's that work?
What direction is that?
Yeah, what direction's that?
We're not making that
the
anymore.
crapper. That's a good idea.
But then Fox picks it up.
Fox picks it up.
But in typical Allen fashion, he didn't stay down for long. Fox picked up the show, allowing Last Man Standing to continue its successful run for several more seasons. The swift pickup demonstrated that there was still a strong demand for content that didn't fit the typical Hollywood mold, and that Allen's fans remained loyal, despite the attempts to sideline him. Tim Allen's recent return to Disney with the Santa Clauses series stirred even more controversy. After being replaced by Chris Evans as the voice of Buzz Lightyear in the movie Lightyear, many thought Allen's Disney career was over. But he came back in a big way with the Santa Clauses. In typical fashion, Allen made headlines for a simple joke his character made in the show. Merry Christmas to all. Oh wait, is that problematic now?
Look like that you would rip their legs off. Their Santa has just screamed the F-bomb. And quickly, Disney people came in and calmed the parents down. He says, no, what he said was fuke. It's a Swedish word. It sounds like that, but it means holiday trim.
What should have been a lighthearted Christmas joke led to a social media uproar. Critics accused Allen of making a politically divisive statement, even though the line was clearly intended to poke fun at how overly sensitive society has become about language. The fact that such a benign joke could provoke such outrage says a lot about the state of modern comedy and the difficulties comedians face in navigating woke culture. Allen's refusal to apologize is one of the most defining aspects of his approach to the cultural battles he finds himself in. He has long been inspired by comedic legends like Richard Pryor and Lenny Bruce, who were known for pushing boundaries and challenging societal norms. For Allen, comedy is about making people think, even if it makes them uncomfortable. He's been clear that his intent is never to hurt people, but rather to challenge the absurdities he sees in modern life.
I'm not ignorant, but sometimes I play it. We went to see the Santa Monica parade down in on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Okay.
The gay parade.
Oh, okay.
I thought when it's gay, I thought when there would be floats and stuff. You don't want to take a 5-year-old to that parade. You don't want to. I'm standing on it. Say, look at the music, and look, it's a fire truck with naked men on it.
It's not.
However, in today's climate, intent often gets overshadowed by offense. Many comedians have toned down their acts or avoided certain topics out of fear of being canceled. Not Tim Allen. He continues to use words and phrases that he says were common in his upbringing, even though he knows they might get him into trouble. In interviews, he's expressed frustration with the thought police mentality that forces comedians to explain or justify their material constantly. Allen has also been vocal about how Hollywood has changed over the years, becoming more politically driven and less tolerant of differing views. In one interview, he likened the current atmosphere to 1930s Germany, where people were afraid to express their true opinions for fear of persecution. While some may consider this comparison extreme, it illustrates how stifling Allen finds Hollywood's insistence on ideological conformity.
Gay pride parades have a different tone than Disney on Ice parade.
And there's no ice for one
There's
thing.
no ice. It's a lot of nude guys on vehicles, and it's hard to.
So you're talking about, you do stand-up, you go around the country.
He's spoken about attending events where he felt like an outsider simply because his views didn't align with the majority. For Allen, this is the essence of what's wrong with woke culture. It demands total allegiance to a particular worldview, and anyone who steps out of line is punished. His experience attending both Republican and Democratic events, as well as his support for veterans, shows that Allen doesn't fit neatly into any one political box, and that's what makes him dangerous in the eyes of the Hollywood elite.
Tim, the fans are very upset that you're not Lightyear in this new Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I did. Literally, the short answer is I've stayed out of this because it has nothing to do, as I've said a long time ago. We talked about this many years ago. It came up in one of the sessions. I said what a fun movie that would be.
Perhaps one of the most talked about controversies in recent years was Alan's replacement as the voice of Buzz Lightyear in the movie Lightyear. For decades, Alan had been the voice of the beloved character, and many fans were surprised when Disney opted to cast Chris Evans instead. The decision was met with mixed reactions, with some speculating that it had more to do with Alan's political leanings than his acting chops.
I'm not sure what the idea. I'm a plot guy.
Yeah.
And this was done in 1997. It would seem to be a big adventure story, and as I see, it's not a big adventure story. It's a wonderful story.
Alan didn't publicly dwell on the replacement, but it was clear to his fans that this was yet another instance of Hollywood sidelining him. However, Alan's ability to bounce back with the Santa Clauses only reinforced his resilience. No matter how many times the industry tries to push him aside, he keeps finding new platforms and new ways to reach his audience. Looking ahead, it's clear that Tim Allen isn't going anywhere. He's shown time and time again that he won't be silenced, and his fans appreciate his honesty and refusal to conform. As Hollywood continues to grapple with issues of diversity, inclusion, and political correctness, Tim Allen's brand of comedy will likely remain divisive, but that's exactly what makes him so compelling.
As I call it, the we culture. I'm not telling anybody else how to live. I don't like that. Or like we should do this or we should do that. And once I realized that the last president pissed people off, I kind of liked that.
For many, Tim Allen represents a kind of anti-cancel culture hero, someone who refuses to back down in the face of criticism. Whether he's tweeting something controversial, making a joke that ruffles feathers, or starring in shows that challenge Hollywood's norms, Allen has proven that he's here to stay. And as long as there's a woke culture to push back against, you can bet that Tim Allen will be at the forefront of that fight. What do you think about celebrities standing up against cancel culture? Tim Allen has certainly drawn his own, and despite the backlash, he's not backing down. Do you agree with his approach, or do you think Hollywood has a point? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep diving into more honest discussions like this one, don't forget to subscribe.